facing non-stop threats of annexation from the United States, the traitors are starting to emerge. Yeah, this is a weird little one for you today, but I'll also have an update on the threats to US democracy at the end of this video, so stick around to hear that too. Now, when I say traitors, I'm not just talking about this guy who I ran into on the streets of Montreal on Saturday. He was in a Team Canada jersey ahead of the Canada-US game that had the name Trump on the back with the number 51. Wow, really clever bit. I hope the attention you got was worth everyone thinking you're a complete dumbass. Now, when I was researching some stuff that's now going to be in tomorrow's video, I stumbled across this ad, published on the right-wing rag of a website called Western Standard. It read, "Tell Danielle, let's join the USA." Very cool ad to run, Western Standard, and if you took this advertiser's money knowingly and this ad wasn't just automatically placed by Google Ads, that's pretty icky. But this made me ask myself, who are these Canadians who welcome Trump's threats of annexation? I wanted to find out. Now, this ad tells you to go and visit this website, which looks like it was made by a 12-year-old for a class project. And when you visit it, it greets you with the title America Fund, Canadians for the 51st State. Not to be confused with its close relatives like horses for glue factories and pigs for bacon. So I did some digging into who was behind this because it wasn't actually immediately clear on their website. However, their website did link to a Facebook page with more than 12,000 members. Now, this group has two admins. One is a man who seems to be an American living in Tulum, and another is a woman from Alberta. But honestly, overall, this was a bit of a dead end. But I also noticed that when you click to donate on the website, it says it's going to something called the Alberta USA Foundation. That sent me down a huge rabbit hole, where I figured out that based on linked social accounts, some social posts, and some media coverage, that this group of Canadians who want our country, or at least Alberta, to become the 51st state seems to have been founded by a guy named Peter Downing, an Alberta separatist who was the former leader of Wexit Canada. You know, the Western separatist movement that wanted Alberta to become its own country. Yeah, and after Downing stepped down, it was rebranded as the Maverick Party, which some of you might have heard of. So to summarize that investigation, separatist still wants to separate. News at 11. Anyways, as I mentioned, this is a fringy group of weirdos. And if I'm being completely honest with myself, I went down this rabbit hole more so out of morbid curiosity to want to understand which Canadians want to become the 51st state rather than any real news value. Because by and large, Canadians have been smacking down the idea strongly of being annexed by the United States. Sometimes literally smacking it down. But unfortunately, with each passing day, Trump makes it more and more clear that he is serious about annexing Canada. The most recent harrowing bit of news on that front came from Newfoundland and Labrador Premier Andrew Furey, who traveled to Washington last week alongside Canada's other premiers to have a meeting with Trump administration officials about Trump's tariff threats. And following that meeting, he told CTV News in an interview that he found it, quote, incredibly concerning to hear Trump's staff say that he's, quote, very serious about annexation. Quote, as Canadians, we need to realize that he is not joking, that he is definitively looking towards the 51st state being Canada. He's had a chance to change that narrative, and not only has he doubled down, I think he's quadrupled down now on saying that. Canadian leadership across the board, meanwhile, has made it incredibly clear that the idea of Canada becoming the 51st state is a non-starter. But this whole thing has made Canadians really angry. For example, even though the announcers at the Canada-US hockey game on Saturday explicitly asked the arena in Montreal to respect the US national anthem, the arena still loudly booed it. Canadians have also canceled trips to the US and have been avoiding buying American products and groceries. Meanwhile, Trump is sounding more and more authoritarian by the day, most recently and significantly filing his first Supreme Court appeal over the firing of a government watchdog. Trump fired Hampton Dellinger, the head of an office of an independent federal agency that provides a, quote, secure channel for federal employees to blow the whistle by disclosing wrongdoing. Seems like a pretty important office right now, no? Anyways, Trump fired Dellinger, so Dellinger sued, saying you can't do that, and a federal judge agreed with him, reinstated him, and now Trump is asking the Supreme Court to weigh in. What they decide in this major test will have huge implications for Trump's ability to get away with firing public officials. But Trump also took to social media, as I kind of hinted in the background here, on Saturday to say something especially authoritarian. Quote, he who saves his country does not violate any law. This is not only super dangerous in terms of telling us about Trump's mindset and how he views his actions right now as being kind of outside the law, but this could also be a really radicalizing statement for his supporters who might think that anything that they believe is in the service of saving their country, which is so vague, doesn't violate any law. Like, it's all legal. And that's probably a sentiment that's further evidence for those people by the fact that Trump just pardoned all of those January 6th rioters. So yeah, nothing about this is good. What do you think of all this?